welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad and the Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so this one's a Daisy episode, and we're chaining off of The Quick and the Dead was the last one we did, and it was your choice. So tell us.
So I bridged from Keith David in Quick and the Dead, who played Bounty Hunter, who I can't remember the name of, into this, where he, I guess, reprises a role that he played in Pitch Black as E-Man.
Yes. So we're talking about Chronicles of Riddick. Now, Chronicles of Riddick was the sequel to the kind of surprise hit Pitch Black. Great film, Pitch Black. And it was made in 2000, Pitch Black, and this was made in 2004. And there's since also been a third Riddick film. I think it's just called Riddick, and where he's kind of Australian on the planet, a much more stripped down, simpler kind of film. In addition to that, there's some animated stuff. There's one called Dark Fury, which I put on the Dropbox and I did watch. We can kind of talk about it a bit. It's like the bridge between Pitch Black and this movie, right?
A couple of characters that do show up in Chronicles of Riddick do, I guess, first appear in Dark Fury. Even though
that's right.
I think it was actually released after.
Was it? Yeah, it's kind of retroactively set in it's putting the bridging between the two movies, right?
4 days after, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, the Dark Fury was actually made by the guys who made Aeon Flux. So if you're really into weird animations, that's it. So.
Okay, fair enough. And apparently Universal decided to do this sequel to Pitch Black after the success of Fast and the Furious. They basically wanted to reuse Vin Diesel, which is weird, a weird kind of history for this film. One of the things about this actual film, it was a PG-13, whereas Pitch Black was ultra violent, right? It was quite a violent film. They kind of toned it down a bit for this, not necessarily to the benefit of the film, I think. I mean, a bit more violence wouldn't have gone wrong on this one. All right, let's get... Again, this is directed by David Twohy, who also did Pitch Black, if I remember rightly. So, same director. Much bigger budget this time. Yeah. What's your general thoughts on this film?
I wasn't a massive fan.
No,
I gotta say, it was really, really quite. It thought too much of itself, sort of thing.
Yeah,
it took kept making this grand thing about Riddick being a chosen one.
Yeah.
Whereas, no, he's just some crazy guy who happened to be advantageous in the situation in Pitch Black.
Yes. I mean, he's a rock hard fighter. He's in the Mad Max, Snake Plissken school of tough guys, right? He just can handle almost any situation thrown at him. He's one of those kind of characters.
But he's also viscerally early 2000s, so there's a lot of, I don't give a fuck what you guys are going to do. And it's not just he acts like that, he just says it.
Yeah. So, it's a very on-the-nose performance in terms and dialogue. Basically, it's a one-note character, and that's great in small... I mean, the less Mad Max speaks, the better, right?
Yeah.
And Riddick's kind of the same. It's like the less he speaks, the better it is. And he just kept coming out with one-liners.
The original are, really punchy. And it's all, carried on from stuff that's set up earlier.
Yeah,
so, they set up everything falls asleep in or you're in cryo sleep, except the animal parts of your brain, and then Riddick's I've just never slept in cryo sleep. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work on him because he's only got an animal brain, presumably.
That's what they're going for.
They went for a big budget now. There's definitely some problems with film. I definitely got bored at points at the sort of action because it was very repetitive, and the CG was not great. It has to be said.
No.
And when you consider things like Lord of the Rings was coming out about the same time, that is leaps and bounds. The CGI in that movie is leaps and bounds about what they did in this, and it kind of suffered from that. I thought there was also a problem in that it felt almost like two films jammed together.
Yeah.
And I think either film would have been better than this.
And then military chosen one storyline.
Yeah, I think this would have worked better as 2 films, right?
Yeah.
A 90-minute film of Riddick evading bounty hunters to do something,
getting caught, and then saving Jack/Kyra.
Yeah, that would have made sense. That would have made sense. And then this whole underverse, weird,
the grand mythology of the setting where dudes are like pulling souls out of people.
Yeah, that
doesn't mesh very well.
No, it did not at all. It was. They were kind of mixing up. I don't know, Star Wars.
Yeah, they were really warping together some like quite hard sci-fi. So see, like I put like Pitch Black in with like Doom and a lot of the other ones where it's like, okay, we've got a fairly solid set of rules, and this is the explanations for it. In this, it's like, oh, I've ripped out a guy's soul, and Riddick is the chosen one. He's called a Furian.
Yeah, and he's the last of the Furian. It's very messianic and a bit silly.
Something I didn't realise while watching this is this has the same plot. Well, I guess Kung Fu Panda 2 technically has the same plot as this. So it's almost exactly the same.
And also Dune, right? I mean, this was kind of ripping off the sort of plot of Dune somewhat, and the look and feel. There was definitely bits of Flash Gordon. There was a bit of Krull. There was a bit of Lord of the Rings. It kind of was trying to have its cake and eat it. Yeah. There was a few things I did like about it, but we'll stick with the bad first, and then maybe sort of talk about the good after that. As I mentioned, the CG was silly. The whole if you go to this planet called Crematoria, basically the sun's so hot everything disintegrates unless you're slightly underground.
Yeah,
and then you're fine. That was just ridiculous.
It's got some. We're gonna like have our big sword fight 2 inches from lava.
There's all that. So it was problematic. Also, but I'll tell you what I did like. I quite like Carl Urban and Thandie Newton.
That's a weird, like surprise role. I wasn't expecting him here.
Yeah, Carl Urban.
He like span around and it's like, oh.
It's him. And Carl Urban does pop up in an awful lot of 2000s movies. Yeah. So he plays Vaku. Thandie Newton plays his wife, who is gone full Lady Macbeth.
Oh, yeah. She's not great at it, but she's really trying hard with this.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the stronger.
And when I say trying hard, not the acting is really good. In universe, the character is not very good at the shenanigans she's trying to pull.
Yeah. I thought Thandie Newton was really good in it, and Carl Urban was really good. And Carl Urban kind of also looked and felt a bit like that character he played in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
well, weirdly, it was very weird to watch.
His whole sort of shtick was he was trying to take over.
Yeah,
and like become like the new head marshal.
Yeah, and it's weird because the head marshal had supernatural powers, but no one else really did. So that wasn't explained.
Literally explained it as like, he knows the underverse, but
what's that mean? Yeah.
They do sort of explain what the underverse is. It's basically an afterlife.
Yeah,
but if he's been there, how's he back? Like,
yeah. It had a touch of the Dark Judges from 2000 AD about it, really, because it's like, what are these guys on? What's this about? It starts well though. I have to say, I do like the bounty hunters chasing Riddick across an ice planet and trying to get him.
Like the revelation he's basically just been there for 5 years.
Yeah, and I did like how Riddick lays it out for them when he goes, "You made 3 mistakes. You only bought 4 people for me." And he basically lays it out. That was kind of cool, but that's all Riddick did for the rest of the film.
Yeah, his like little back and forth with what's his name, Toombs, was good.
Yeah,
when Toombs popped back up, he was able to relay exactly the same sort of things. Where it's like, okay, you're an idiot. Here's what you did wrong. So
yeah, I quite like Toombs, played by an actor called I haven't seen him much others, Nick Chinland. It was pretty cool. He was like a bounty hunter, right? Chasing Riddick. And
Dark Athena as well. That's what you should say. So.
And there's a you are right.
Fury.
Dark Athena we should mention there's actually 2 video games based off the Riddick stories, as well as
they're based off like his offhand mentions in this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Escape from Butcher Bay and Assault on Dark Athena, I think.
Yeah, and I understand one of them, and I don't know which one is really good. I understand.
Yeah, I've heard they're both really good.
Oh, okay.
But they're literally from a bit in this film where they're discussing what prison to take him to.
Yeah,
because they're trying to get the bounty on his head, and they're like, "Well, we could take him to Butcher Bay." He's like, "Nah, they got a room already for me. They made the best creams."
Oh, apparently, Escape from Butcher Bay was released at the same time as this movie, so there was a tie-in. They specifically put that in the script, so there was a tie-in. So that explains that. And there's a few other bits. There's another. We talked about Dark Fury. I think there might have been another animated feature that's come out as well. Not a feature. Sort of episode or short piece, but I can't find any mentions of it. But I thought I heard there was a second one. It has to be also added. Vin Diesel was nominated for a Razzie as worst actor in 2004, but he lost to George W. Bush for Fahrenheit 9/11. So yeah, okay, that's a Razzie thing. Yeah. Well, George W. Bush was in video, news clips in that movie.
Oh, that doesn't count.
I know he's not performing.
Raspberries.
That's Razzie trying to be meta. That's what that is. Yeah. I also quite like the bit. I think it started strong and just got a bit worse as it went. The whole ice planet thing with Riddick was kind of cool, and then he goes and visits the imam. And that's kind of okay, but then after that, the film kind of starts to fall to pieces, really. The only thing keeping it together is the bounty. I quite like all the stuff with Riddick and, going to the prison and the bounty hunters and Toombs' crew, which felt a bit Alien Resurrection, didn't it? I kind of like that. That was all right.
Yeah.
Did you?
It's a neat one because it flip-flops so hard because it's like, okay, we'll get this interesting prison planet and we cut back to the Death Cult army.
Death Cult army. It just felt like modern politics, actually. That's one of the things about it. It felt a bit like that.
But how can I stab my boss back in the back in such a way that it's clear to everyone that I did it and that I can take over and that he won't use his weird ghost powers to spin round on the spot and detect me?
He was in it with his terrible CG.
Yeah.
Judi Dench was in this, but parachuted in really as like I think she probably only did like 2 days work on this. She basically was wearing a silver wig and was called an air elemental.
Yeah, she could turn into air and glide.
But she didn't escape.
It's like, what? Again, this is like the high fantasy stuff that they've thrown into quite a hard sci-fi universe.
Yeah, it doesn't work really, does it? I feel the rules are too inconsistent. That's probably one of the problems, and it just wasn't well enough put together. I don't think the film did that well.
No. But I remember.
It's a flop. Yeah, it's a flop.
Seeing posters for it everywhere and being really quite interested in what it was because the posters look cool. They look quite hard sci-fi.
Can I ask then? Is this the first watch for you?
Yeah, this is the first.
Ah, okay. Because I saw this before. I have to say, my heart kind of sank when you said I want to do this, but then I thought, well, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as I remember it. Because I did watch the third one and really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that because it got back to basics.
At some point.
Yeah, it was a solid film. It was almost as good as Pitch Black.
Okay.
Yeah, basically he's stranded on a planet and he's got to try and survive. And at one point he breaks his leg and he has to reset his own leg. So it's a bit like Enemy Mine or Robinson Crusoe in space kind of thing. But it's Riddick, right? So, there's these deadly animals all over the planet, but Riddick gets one as a pet, because he's Riddick. Right, things like that, and Riddick does have this way with animals, doesn't he? That's kind of one of his things, I think. It was a real hodgepodge, and the dialogue was pretty poor. The only decent stuff was really Thandie Newton and Carl Urban stuff.
Yeah, like the politicking behind the scenes, where like you can see the logic in everything she does. So it's like, okay, you need to, if we like tell everyone that you killed Riddick, you'll get promoted. And then when Riddick pops back up again, she's like, don't inform him, but be in a position to defend the Emperor, well, the Lord Marshal, if he does show up.
Yeah,
because you're also in a good position to kill the Lord Marshal if he does show up.
And there was a kind of goofy thing where Riddick just turned up in the court of the Necromongers saying, I want that guy. The guy with the axes, which was kind of cool and reminded me of something like Conan, right?
Yeah.
Or Flash Gordon. It was kind of... Now, I like that bit. That was fine as well. And kind of fun. But it was like then he disappeared and then they decided he might be the chosen one who destroys the...
Yeah, they wheeled in those weird, like, sort of psychic people that were in, like...
Oh, I've forgotten them. Yeah,
like plastic bags. And there's little vases of water in front of them, who were able to identify he was a Furian.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Riddick didn't know that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. It was very odd. It was very odd. And there's also some weird conflicts, like when the bounty hunters turn up with Riddick and they realise... Then the bloke who runs the prison planet realises, you took him from the Necromongers? It was all that kind of... Also, we have Kyra in this. It's kind of cool. The actress was quite good in the role.
Yeah.
But unfortunately...
I wish she did much.
Yeah. I mean, she did a bit of fight, her character.
Yeah, we do a little bit of scrapping and they do this sort of I've toughened up, so I've taken on a new name to try and cover more for the fact that this is a different actress.
Yeah. So it was weird that, so she spent maybe a week or two with Riddick on a spaceship before he dropped her at New Mecca.
She proceeded to spend 5 years trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, also it says that Riddick went into isolation specifically to protect these people. And only when bounty hunters came for him did he come back. And he also suspects Imam might have talked, right? So, it's like, what's going on?
He only told Imam where he'd be.
Yeah.
People started showing up, so...
Yeah. So it's a bit of a mishmash, this film, to say the least. It's a hot mess, and not necessarily fun. Now, I don't mind a hot mess film. I quite like June, for example, the 8th of June. But this... It just got a bit, I'm getting a bit bored. Riddick just keeps coming out with one-liners that aren't that great. And he's and I don't
It's a lot of stuff that in writing, like, you'd leave right for, like, as sort of character description, because it sounds cool, but he's just saying it about himself.
Yeah, it would have been better, I reckon, if Riddick had just not said anything.
Yeah.
It would have been more impactful, I think, if he just dealt with whatever. I mean, Snake Plissken doesn't say one-liners, right? He just gets on with business. Mad Max doesn't say one-liners, and they work way better than Riddick did in this. Now, I do like Riddick, and I like it.
Says the one-liners. So.
Say what?
Everyone around them says the one-liners.
Yes, that's exactly it. You're quite right. Now, I quite liked Vin Diesel's Riddick, and I thought it was all right in this, but it just got too samey, and it was a bit incoherent, and it got to a point where it was like, let's finish this soon. It really, really did. The ending was okay. It kind of okay. It was Conan-y, right?
Yeah.
He became the one, or Muad'Dib, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you just know really ain't going to be happy doing that.
Yeah.
That's not his thing at all. So yeah.
It just sort of stops. It doesn't even really end. Like he takes over, and it's like, well, it's been completed, but it feels like nothing's been achieved.
Yeah. It's like, well, what are these Necromongers? What does that mean now? He's in charge because he hasn't got special powers.
Yeah, he doesn't follow their religion. His only real thing is that he's got this whatever psychosis is that gives him an animal brain.
Yeah.
and that his eyes are like funky. But I think they state in this film that that's an enhancement he's had, not like something he was born with.
I think they said that in Pitch Black, actually, as well. I think that was a thing in Pitch Black, too. I would definitely recommend watching the third one. I think you'll enjoy that way better than this.
I need to watch it to cleanse the palate of this.
Because I still think very highly of Riddick and the Riddick character, despite this film. It's just they saw Lord of the Ring, or I don't know what the thought processes was, but it was like, well, this is a bit of a failure, right? That's kind of how it felt. And it was kind of a waste. It would have been better if Imam had stuck around more, because Keith David has presence.
Yeah, Keith David is insanely good at doing these sort of films.
Yeah.
That's so I don't know why I guess to show like raise stakes and show that weird, creepy, like heat vision guy.
Yeah.
But you could have kept him on as like a someone with Riddick traveling with him, so you could have this sort of. Riddick has a reason to explain stuff to someone, at the very least.
Or Imam could have been kind of his voice, or the one commenting on things instead of Riddick's kind of a bit damp one-liners,
Also, I think this may have been like the start of Vin Diesel can't be shown getting hit more than he's shown hitting someone. Have you heard about that weird clause in all his contracts?
Yeah, I know that he's a bit of a diva about things, about how he's presented. So I'm kind of aware of that. And he picks fights with his co-star, or picks arguments with his co-star. We know, how can you pick a fight with The Rock? Everyone loves The Rock, but
Not only does everyone love The Rock is going to fold you in half no matter what your size.
Yeah, you just know that. Oh, please don't pick a fight with The Rock, man.
Yeah. And now it's on Instagram begging The Rock to come back and finish the films.
Yeah, that is funny. It wasn't a great film, really.
Yeah.
But you were kind of hoping for.
Yeah, I was expecting more more Pitch Black.
Yeah.
No, they really wanted to make a space opera.
Now, if this film hadn't have existed, the third film, Riddick, would have been a great sequel. Would have been a great sequel, direct sequel. It's just this unfortunate mess kind of happens between the two. I can't think of many franchises where there's 3 films where the middle one is a total mess and the third one is pretty good. There's not many. There might be some, but I can't think of any. I'm amazed that the third one got made after the failure of this one, but I guess...
I got the feeling that was the combination of Vin Diesel and the writer maybe having a lot of sway, because I can see he's made a few.
Yeah. I'm just glad they stripped it down and went back to a much more basic storyline. And it is a sequel to this, just so you're aware. There is a sequel to this film. It starts with Riddick being in charge of the Necromongers and deciding he doesn't want to do it anymore. Okay. And if I remember rightly, Carl Urban's in it too, and sort of helps Riddick plan what he's going to do next. But kind of double crosses him,
okay.
So there is that. So okay, let's wind this up, because this has been a painful one, right?
Yeah.
What would you give this out of on your scoring system?
I'd give it more towards like the lower end. I'd give it like a 4 or something.
I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Actually, I thought it was a pretty poor film. It should have worked a bit better, but there was just, I don't know, there was something about the dialogue didn't light up, apart from, as I say, Sandy Newton and Carl Urban, and a bit at the beginning where, Imam was involved, and that might be more the actors bringing dialogue to life than the dialogue being intrinsically good. I don't really know. But yeah, and that and the combination of the sort of repetitive action. Also, it was only a PG-13, so it wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
Could have been.
Yeah, for a guy with like an iconic weapon that's a very short knife, this was a really tame film.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
he
did
stab
like
the
some
dude
of
in the head?
Yeah, I could definitely see some influences of David Lynch's Dune in this, though. You know, there was those weird men. We're looking for like a giant lens on their face, acting as almost like cameras. That was kind of weird and interesting, but it just all the bits just did not add up. So this was a weak one. So anyway, right. So this is Daisy Day. So the next film will be my choice based on one of the actors in this film. I've got a few possibilities. You know, there's a few actors who are. You know, Carl Urban, Keith David, I can't use. Vin Diesel, even Judi Dench. You know, Thandie Newton. There's a few other choices.
Thandie Newton do much.
A few things that are interesting, but you know, I've got some choices.
Oh, she's in Westworld. That's she moved to TV.
Yeah, she's moved to TV. But she has done some films. She's done some. I think for example, she did.
She's in Solo. Apparently.
Yeah, she was in Solo. She was in Mission Impossible 2, I think, or one of those. She's done some big films. But I'll have a thing. I'm not going to use Keith David because that's how we chained him. Yeah. But I will have a think about what we're going to do next. Cool. Right, let's wind it up there. So next time we'll be doing a comfy chair. It's been a bit. We've had some time off, so it's been a bit of a lag. So we'll be doing a comfy chair to sort of catch up on some of the stuff we've been watching since we last did our comfy chair.
It's a show no.
Say again.
To get write it all up, see what I've done.
I do keep a note of stuff, but we'll see how we go. All right then. So bye from me.
Okay, bye.